Every delightful sip of apartment-provided gourmet coffee feels like sticking it to the man, even just a little bit. And you're telling me that I have to give up my daily dose of vindication because some creep decided that he wanted to utilize that space to harass me? That doesn't seem very patriotic to me. In these parts, we stand our ground and stick to our coffee addictions because I am addicted. I've long ago accepted that.
So on today's episode of Low Level TikTok Drama, we have a TikToker by the name of Shar who just wants to make a cup of coffee in peace without being harassed by, quite literally, the apartment complex's creep, okay? There is a creep who lives in this woman's apartment complex. Apparently it's pretty big. And he creeps around, roaming the halls, waiting for women just to pop up.
So lately, because I think that people are kind of like onto him and his stalking, he's been going to the gym to kind of corner girls every single day. He's been going about 5 times. No joke.
I'm incredibly sorry for whoever does not enjoy the voiceovers. I haven't had anyone that said that they haven't, but if you are one of those people, you just haven't come forward. I'm going to be doing just a few little voiceovers for I think maybe about 4 days because it's Easter holidays and I'm going to be going away to see some family. So, like I already said, we have this whole entire real life scandal going off over on TikTok with this creep who resides in the apartment complex. The police are getting involved. Everyone has banded together on a group chat to out him. Supposedly he has been creeping around for a little while, waiting, literally waiting beside coffee machines just to be able to talk to people, messaging them really, really creepy things. And now on top of absolutely everything, he is refusing to leave. He is refusing to leave. Police are involved and we're going to be starting from the very beginning. I'm scared for this lady. I'm scared for everyone who lives knowing that there is a creep just creeping on you when you're trying to have your morning latte.
So we are dealing with a scary situation in my apartment building right now, and I want to know what you guys would do.
So Shar says that she goes down at random hours because she doesn't want to make her routine known. She doesn't quite specify why, but I can imagine it's probably because she doesn't like this exact thing happening. She wants to keep her routine, mixed up. So she goes down at random times and she kept on noticing that there was this guy that would be there waiting with a coffee mug. And she was starting to find it really, really, really strange how every single time, it could be any time in the morning, he would always be there.
So because I live in a really big building, I don't even really run into my friends unless we purposefully meet up. I maybe run into them every 1 to 3 months. But suddenly I noticed last week that I was running into the same frickin' guy every single time I was going to get my coffee in the morning. Now, I never get my coffee at the same time. I maybe get it between 8:30 a.m. and 1 p.m. But I always vary my schedule as to not really get into a routine. But I was getting really annoyed because every single time I'd get my coffee, I'd be stuck there while it was being made, having to talk to this person. My building is a great community. We have a big group chat. And so some of our numbers are in that group chat. The first week that I moved into this place, this guy took my number out of the group chat and asked me to hang out. I proceeded to block him. So now, as I'm having to get my coffee with him being there, he's like, "Hey, Shar, can't get a text back?" I just kind of look at him.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Get me out of there. There would be no way in hell I could just carry on living my life. If I'd already told somebody, I don't want to know you, get away. In no future. I mean, she hasn't said that, but she has said that by blocking them. If you block someone, that is supposed to insinuate, I don't want to know you, get away from me. I don't want to have any contact with you. I don't want to talk to you via text message, let alone having to see you in person. So you can only imagine what she's thinking when he just randomly appears everywhere. And the story does not end there, okay? She states that it's not just her that this has happened to. She then confided with the other people, her friends, the people who she has on a WhatsApp group message. She asked them, and this has been happening to other people.
So one of my friends had messaged me that some people were kind of talking about this dude and his weird interactions in a group chat earlier. So I knew that he was being weird. And so that gave me the strength to kind of be rude to him when he started to try to be more aggressive in his interactions with me. I said, no, what in our communication would ever think to you that I would want to hang out with you? I said, the other women in the building are talking about you and how you've been creeping on the girls and you need to stop. Luckily, there were 2 larger, older guys there who really looked like they could rough somebody up. And so he kind of backed away, but he was just like, well, that's all relative. It didn't even click with him.
They are now trying to get this guy out of his apartment, which, as you can imagine, is not going to go down very well. But anyone who has that kind of reply to you when you say, I don't want anything to do with you, yeah, no, definitely not it. Red flags right there. So she has come to this conclusion, after talking to some of her friends, that this guy has basically been stalking her around the apartment, just like he did with her other friends that were in this group chat. He would wait in the corridors for other women, for other people. And honestly, what makes this just so bizarre and creepy and psychotic, just as Shar said, was that he would randomly be stood at that coffee machine with an empty mug, and then she would then have to wait for him to do his mug, and he'd be trying to talk to her the whole entire time. But because she goes at such varied hours and it's quite a large complex, he would have to know her whereabouts. He would have to know her movements down to this coffee machine. Like, what the hell? How is he knowing this? Does he just wait? Does he just wait outside her apartment? Like, honestly, I've got so many questions.
But he's gone to several women's apartments and knocked on their doors, and several women have been physically assaulted by him. So everyone's trying to band together right now in order to keep, everyone safe. And everyone's emailing the leasing office their reports and their different stories. So we're just kind of waiting for a resolution at this point.
In the latest updates, it turns out that this guy has been literally harassing over 20 different men and women. He's physically assaulted some women. And whenever anyone new turns up at the complex, he somehow knows about it, and then he goes round to their apartments and knocks on the door to try and get their number. So he knows everything that is going on, and by this point everyone in the group chat is like, block, delete, get rid of him, and they're trying to get through to the leasing company, to the apartment owners, to try and get something done about this, because it's scary. Like, that's absolutely terrifying. This guy just like wandering around the coffee machines, like literally wandering around the corridors. Does he sleep in the corridors? How does he know everyone's movements?
So like 7 different people posted in the group chat different messages that he sent them, including ones that he sent even though he was blocked. So literally just a wall of text talking to himself. To one girl, he said, "Enough chit chat, let's." He also messaged a married woman on Instagram, trying to continuously get her to hang out, and she kept saying, "Don't bother me, I'm not interested." This man has been yelled at several times, told firmly via text to stop. He has been physically removed from parties, but none of it phases him, because the next day he pops up like, "Hey guys, what's going on?" and still tries to hang out with people. But I think the creepiest story was from a new girl in the building who just moved in with her brother. Since she just moved in, she wasn't in the group chat yet, so the creeper couldn't get her number. So somehow he found out what floor she was on, found out what apartment she was living in, and he went and knocked on her door. Luckily, she wasn't there, and her brother answered. He was like, "Hey, my name's Creeper. Can I get so-and-so's number?" And her brother was like, "Dude, you need to leave. Of course she doesn't want to give you her number." And they were able to file some charges. Not that anything's been done yet.
So Shar was actually able to deliver some receipts in one of her latest videos, and these are messages from the guy saying stuff like, "So do you live at so-and-so now, friend? Hey, how's the week going? What does a guy gotta do to get laid around here? What are you doing tonight, sexy? Let's hang out, etc, etc." Now, there are quite a few screenshots of texts that he was saying, play pool with me tonight, hang with me tonight, 3 guesses for what that means, or just have to come over and hang, like stuff like this. And to be fair, this guy could have like many different, social interaction issues. He could have issues with, dealing with people socially. Like, yeah, he could do, but that still doesn't excuse the behavior. And if he does have, a problem, if he does have issues with just interacting with other people, then shouldn't that be monitored? Like, if it's getting to the level of him physically assaulting people and stalking people and harassing people and waiting at coffee machines at all hours with empty mugs just to talk to people, yeah, this guy needs help. This guy needs to get the hell out of this apartment complex. And funnily enough, they did actually end up reporting, and they managed to get it to where he then has to leave. But what they didn't anticipate to happen was that they He would actually start a fight with, I think it was like the complex owner or something, or like the landlord. They were having this little apartment complex party in one of the penthouses. And this creeper guy rides the elevators just to search, literally in Shar's words, to see if there's any activity going on in any of the corridors.
Saturday, we have a community event. It was supposed to be in a main area, but the weather was really bad, so it moved to one of the penthouses. So this was a private event that was in our building group chat. So it's not like it was like publicly advertised anywhere. So the party's been going for, a few hours. Everyone's having a really good time. And apparently the creeper showed up. How did he find this party, you may ask? Well, this guy is such a creep that he actually rides the elevators. He rides the elevators and monitors the floors for if there's any activity going on, then invites himself into the parties. He entered the party for about a hot second. Apparently, it was like the hottest second that there ever was before someone noticed that it was him there. So they asked him nicely to leave, and a bunch of the guys are like, hey bro, like you can't be here. And he decides that he's gonna take a swing. Unfortunately, that swing hit the owner of the lease for that penthouse. Poor guy's a mess. I wish I could show you guys pictures. Looked on the floor and there was like blood. I was like, what the hell? So they called the police and now they're involved in everything. But this guy is now squatting in our building.
The whole story cannot get any worse. You have this guy who is just waiting for people in the corridors, people who are in the group chat who don't even know what to do. They're all messaging each other all the time, trying to locate this guy's whereabouts. And in the latest video, Shar basically explains that they can't actually get him to leave. He's using the whole squatter's rights and he will not leave his apartment, and he basically ends up going down to the gym like 5 times a day to try and hit on girls and just generally make everyone feel incredibly uncomfortable. And this is like an ongoing issue because she posted yesterday and it still has not been resolved. The guy's been asked to leave. He's, played fisticuffs with a guy that owns the penthouse. And literally no one in the apartment complex wants him there. He's creeping everyone out. Guy is like a menace. This guy needs serious help. Like you can't, oh my God, I couldn't imagine anything worse. And now people are trying to fundraise Shar to get her own coffee machine. Like, hey, we will buy you a coffee machine if you want, just so you don't have to like leave. But as she says, if she's paying, I think she's paying quite a lot of money for where she lives, and the coffee machine the guy had, it's like $10,000. It's a lot.
Daily is the coffee machine. It's a gourmet machine that's over $10,000.
So she wants to be able to make the most out of it, and I can kind of understand that. I mean, I'm much more of a, I just like being able to roll out of bed and get my coffee, but I can understand it if that's what you want to do, and like fair enough, like you pay a lot of money for where you live and you've got a really fancy coffee machine downstairs, you might as well make the most out of it.
Every single morning I get to have my cup. I get the wonderful feeling of letting the landlord spend their money while I save mine. Every delightful sip of apartment provided gourmet coffee feels like sticking it to the man.
I don't know about you guys, but I can't really argue with that. I mean, I don't know if the Venmo and PayPal is actually her, but whatever, if people want to donate to her getting a coffee machine, considering that it's pretty risky business even leaving their own apartments, then I would consider that a good cause. If you're going against like a $10,000 coffee machine, you're going to want something that's actually quite nice. Maybe not $10,000 because that just sounds insane to me, but you get the idea. So this is her latest video and I'm going to play it out, just her detailing exactly what is going on right now. But in a nutshell, the guy is like refusing to leave and he's just been getting progressively worse and worse over the course of like a couple days.
So after this guy punched my neighbor on Saturday night, the police came and they were able to get a warrant for his arrest. Unfortunately, even though he's squatting in our building, they haven't been able to execute that warrant because the warrant is not for his apartment. So lately, because I think that people are kind of like onto him and his stalking, he's been going to the gym to kind of corner girls every single day. He's been going about 5 times. No joke. We're trying to keep each other aware of his movements in the group chat. And it's really kind of sad because we all feel very uncomfortable walking around our building that we pay all this money to live in. For anyone who's accused me of like making this situation up, I frickin' wish. because it's actually so much worse than what I'm sharing with you online. Because I'm trying to protect people's privacy, and because if something happens, I can't have it on my heart that it could have been because of me. Our building management isn't doing anything. They're saying that their hands are legally tied because of squatters' rights or whatever. Something kind of crazy that happened is that somebody in our group chat submitted a post from some of the businesses around our apartment complex. And it turns out we're not the only ones that he's torturing. There was also a background report that was run, and unfortunately, this guy's definitely got a rap sheet. Going back all the way to 2010, from Seattle to New York, even Havasu. Burglary, loitering, assault. Something else that I forgot about the incident that happened on Saturday night was that afterwards, when we all went to another apartment, one of my neighbors talked about the one time there was a party at the creeper's apartment. And he said that he woke up in the staircase and that he had to get help going home. And he's an avid partier. He had no idea like how he drank so much. And my friend commented to him, he drank a girl's drink. He drank a girl's drink in this creeper's apartment. That was a really scary revelation. There was also a point where he had like fostered a puppy or something like that. And we were talking about in the group chat, like nobody has seen that dog. I remember thinking he's just getting this dog in order to attract women and to like reel people in.
I don't know, if that was me and I was living in that apartment complex and there were always other people, I hope that they are all together getting evidence to try and take this guy down, because if the landlord won't do anything about getting them out of the complex, then surely, well, it's got to be a police matter, isn't it? Because at the end of the day, like, you need to leave your apartment. You can't just stay in your apartment. But I would honestly be so worried about getting I'd be so worried about leaving. I already have anxiety. It would make my anxiety skyrocket, is what I'm trying to say. Yeah, I don't know. I'm really interested to see where this leads to, because the police need to step in and do something about it. Like, that is so bad. I feel so bad for all of them. Anyway, that is pretty much all I wanted to say. I'll be keeping a little close tab on this story as it is progressing, but I hope you guys have a wonderful day wherever you are in this world. Take care of each other, take care of yourselves, and I will catch up with you guys in the next video.